Hey everyone, this is Daphne Tett, and today I will be telling you about my trip to Disney World that I just got back from a week ago. This might not be what you want, but I'm doing it, so gather around, kids. It's time for a little story from the travel journal of Daphne Tett. So I'm going to try and get this all done in one video. But, it's only a week. I can do it, right? Anyway, it's time for Disney Adventures, or as I called it in my journal, Disney World, Orlando, Florida, June 15th through 22nd, 2019. June 15th, getting there. I woke up at 6:15 a.m. like usual, but I did not get to lounge around on the game room couch watching YouTube like usual because we had to get our butts in gear to go to the airport. I specifically remember the car clock saying 7:53 when we drove away from the house, more particularly because it did not say 7:30 like we had planned. So we trucked it to the airport and through security and all that jazz, and we made it to the gate for our boarding at 9:21. Our plane took off at 9:46, at least that's what it said on the boarding pass. During the flight, I played Tomodachi Life, where Tristan decided to yeet it on out of there, and read my new book. We landed at approximately 12:30 Eastern Time. We had lunch at Ruby Tuesday at the airport. I had a nice juicy burger and some fries. Then we went to meet Grandma Janet at her gate. Her flight landed at around 3. Then we went down together to the Magical Express bus, which whisked us away to our resort, the Animal Kingdom Lodge. It was a long trek to the room. It was really close to the end of the building, and it was like a long building that it was shaped like a noodle. And we were up here somewhere. Yeah, I think Dad said it was like a quarter mile. But we finally made it at 4:30. We took a look around and packed our stuff and then lounged around for the rest of the afternoon. Then we left at 6:30 for our dinner at Sanaa. I had a big thing of naan, which is just like this flat Indian bread, and it was best. As well as a New York strip and some roasted. That's what I wrote. I just put in roasted. I think I meant to put in roasted potatoes, but my brain had a glitch. We could barely have a conversation because the staff performed the birthday song 6 times with drums. The last 4 times I'm pretty sure were for people who were lying just to get a performance. Anyway, we left the restaurant at 8:30 and went out onto the landing to look at the wildlife. Then we went back to the room for the night, and I went to bed at around 10. Okay, that's day 1. June 16th, the Magic Kingdom. I woke up at 7:15 and we had breakfast and got dressed and slathered on the sunscreen for our day at the Magic Kingdom. The bus picked us up at around 8:45, so we got there at around 9, which I think must have been around the time the park was opening. The first thing we wanted to do was ride the railroad, but it turns out it is closed until 2021. Yeah. Instead, we cut through the shops on Main Street, and I bought myself some fabulous Mickey ears, which I forgot to put on before I started this video, so I'm gonna get them. There. Now I think we've set the mood. Okay, I lost my page. So anyway, I bought these ears. And then we went on Jungle Cruise while we waited for our 9:45 fast passes for Splash Mountain to become ripe. While we were there, our tour guide decided to throw in a few extra dad jokes in honor of Father's Day. My personal favorite, some people think those are plastic wildebeest, but I just like to call them fake news. Hashtag 2018. So anyway, we waited for our 9:45 fast passes for Splash Mountain to become ripe. Then we showed up at Splash Mountain only to find that it's closed. So we got a free fast pass for any ride for the rest of the day. So we went on Big Thunder Mountain instead, except we went standby because the lights on Big Thunder Mountain aren't that bad, and there was probably something better we could use it on. So yeah. So after Big Thunder Mountain, we went back over to Adventureland to go on Pirates of the Caribbean. Why is my hand up here? So anyway, and after that, we went to our 12:05 lunch reservation at Liberty Tree Tavern. I had the pot roast and some mashed taters. See, I remembered to put in potatoes this time. Okay, so after lunch, we went to the Hall of Presidents before going to Tomorrowland. We used our 1:30 Fast Pass for Space Mountain. Then we used our free Fast Pass on Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger Spin and went on Carousel of Progress. Then the skies opened up. So there I was in line for the Wedway, trying frantically to get my poncho on while the line was moving. It's actually on the Wedway where we found out the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, where we had our last Fast Pass, was also closed for obvious reasons, so we got another free fast pass. After whiz, we tromped through, I kid you not, ankle-deep water to get to Fantasyland and went on some of the covered/indoor rides like the Teacups, Mickey's Philhar Magic, It's a Small Log Jam After All. Then the rain cleared up and Grandma Janet decided to go back to the room. The three of us used our remaining fast pass on Laugh Floor because really I just want to get out of there and we had to use it on something. And we got some ice cream at the Main Street Ice Cream Parlor. We boarded the bus back to the hotel at 5:30 and we got back to the room at 6, where we took off our soaking wet shoes. Like that was the only time that day for a while that I wore my sneakers because they were just soaked from all that water. Like I thought Magic Kingdom had better drainage than that. So anyway, we left our soaking wet shoes to dry for dinner/chilling until I went to bed at 10:15. Okay. June 17th, chill day. I woke up a little after 7, snuck out onto the balcony. After an hour and a half of sitting in the sun trying to get 2 journal entries written, I decided to go back inside and have some breakfast. Mom, Dad, and I decided to do some mini golf, so we hopped on a bus around 10:15. It took us to Blizzard Beach, and then it was like the golf course is like right there, so yeah. And we arrived at the mini golf course around 10:30. It was a long and riveting 18 holes, but David Tett Golf Whiz came out a solid 10 strokes ahead of me and Mom. And then the skies opened up part 2. So we threw on our ponchos and scurried back to the bus stop. We arrived at the hotel around noon, so we went to lunch at the Mara Snack Bar at Jumbo Buana House. I had some chicken nuggets and fries. Then Dad and I changed into our swimsuits and hit the pool before the rains came again. And got there 1:30 and swam around for an hour. Got out a little after 2:30. Then the lifeguards kicked everybody out due to thunder. So we went back to the room, changed into our clothes, and hung around until 5 when we caught the minivan, which is like Lyft for Disney. They would like come up and pick you up in this van with like dots on it because Minnie Mouse. Disney puns. So anyway, we caught our minivan to Fort Wilderness. At 6:15, the magical doors opened up to Pioneer Hall, and we worked our way to our delicious balcony seats for some delicious cornbread and salad and cornbread. And then the curtains opened up for the hoop-de-doo, but I'm assuming you already guessed that. I had some fried chicken, mashed potatoes, a bite of strawberry shortcake, and a foot-stomp and hand-clap a good time. So the show ended sometime before 8:30. We got on a bus to the front of the resort because Fort Wilderness is huge, that you need a bus inside the resort, and took a lift back to our hotel. We got to the room around 9:15, and I went to bed around 10:15. June 18th, Disney MGM. I woke up at 6:45 so we could bust out at 8 for our day at Disney's Hollywood Studios. We got off the crowded bus around 8:30. Then we followed the mob to Toy Story Land, except it stopped several feet away from Toy Story Land. Apparently this was the end of the line for Slinky Dog Dash. We decided to nope it on out of there and went on Alien Swirling Saucers instead. Then we went on standby on Toy Story Mania, changed our Toy Story Mania Fast Passes for Muppet Vision 3D. Since our Toy Story Mania Fast Passes were for $9.55, we had nothing to do. So we perused the shops for an hour, and I got this Mickey Mouse shirt in one of the shops. It's a good thing my dresser's right here. Ta-da! It's got sequins, and I can do this. I really like these mermaid sequins. I got these 2 pillows over here that both have the sequins. I got 212 on one and the girl power on the other. Can you see them? Probably. Okay. Good, geez, now I have to put this shirt away. I'll do it after the video. Where was I? June 7th, 18th. Okay, so I got the shirt. We did that. At 10:55, we finally used our fast passes for Tower of Terror. Then we had a little snackety snack from the local Starbucks. I got myself a cinnamon roll. Yeah, I got myself a cinnamon roll. So we went up near Muppet Vision around noon and perused the shops. We cashed in our Muppet Vision fast passes at 12:30. We got out a little after 1, giving us half an hour before we could use our fast passes for Star Tours. To pass the time, we did the only logical thing and went on Star Tours again in the standby line, and we went on again with our fast passes. Both times were almost exactly the same, except for the transmission in the middle, which was Po Hot Dammerin the first time and BB-8 the second. Then around 2:15, we checked in early for lunch at Sci-Fi Dine-In. I dined on chicken tendies, fries, and a tall glass of ice cream while watching/making fun of some cheesy 50s sci-fi clips. After dinner, we decided we had already done everything, so we went back to the hotel for some rest and burgers for dinner, and I went to bed at 10. Swallow, because I gotta keep my mouth moist. Oh, my camera's crooked. You know what, I'm gonna put away my shirt. I don't want it just lying there while I'm neglecting it doing this video. June 19th, Epcot. I don't remember exactly what time I woke up, but it must have been around 7. We busted out at 8 so we could catch the first bus to Epcot. Got there around 8:30 and waited with the huge mob of people for rope drop. Then they opened the floodgates and we could finally go on some rides. We started out on Soarin' because the standby line was only 20 minutes. Then we went on Living with the Land because it was right there. I took a bunch of photos of the different plants and stuff. I wish I could show them to you, but they're on the same phone I'm using to film this. So yeah. We had fast passes for it, so we changed them to the C's. Next, we paid a visit to our good buddy Figment at the Imagination Pavilion. Now we can finally use our 9:50 fast pass for Test Track, even though it was well past that. Then we immediately went on our 10:50 fast pass for Mission Space. Grandma and I went on the even less intense version. Then I swooped into Mission Space Race afterwards. After that, Mom, Dad, and I went standby on the C's while Grandma continued onto the restaurant. We changed our fast passes again to the Pixar Short Film Festival. After riding around in our Clammobile and stopping twice, funny story time. The second time it stopped, which I assume it was like to unload someone who's in a wheelchair. You know, like when they have one of the characters come over the PAs, like, how does it go? It's like, uh-oh, looks like the ride stopped. Please remain seated while we figure it out. And then they come on with a second announcement when the ride starts up again, and it was Mr. Ray, you know, like the Stingray guy who was like, oh, let's go explore, explore, explore. So he came on and it's like, great news, guys, the ride's gonna start moving again. Oh, let's go. And we just joked about that for the rest of the trip. Oh, where was I? Oh, yes, Clammobile. We went to the Garden Grill for a 12:30 lunch reservation. I had a feast of turkey, roast beef, mashed potatoes, fries, some Mickey sugar cookies for dessert. And we also got some visits from Chip and Dale and Mickey and Pluto. Mickey literally startled me because, okay, so here's the table. Like, our seats were in a semicircle, and I was right here, and Mickey comes in like, boom, and it was like, ah! And he also really liked my Mickey ears for obvious reasons. Okay, so that's another funny story. So after lunch, Grandma decided she was funned out and went back to the hotel, leaving the three of us to explore World Showcase. First, we popped into the Mexico ride, then we waited 30 minutes for the new and rebranded, improved Frozen-themed Maelstrom ride. We also went in the America movie and worked our way to O Canada, because it is not Epcot without O Canada. We went back to Future World in time for our 4:40 fast passes for the Pixar Short Film Festival, which we didn't really need. We just walked into the room, the waiting area, and Mom was totally not crying at the end. When we left the theater, we found that the skies had opened up with a vengeance, so we waited 15 minutes for the worst of it to pass. After a couple stops at the Flying Toilet Ride and Club Cool, we finally yeeted it on out of the park around 6 and returned to the hotel to rest our sore feet and enjoy some delicious dinner. And I went to bed at 10. June 20th, our water park / Disney Springs. I woke up. I don't remember when, I just did. Mom, Dad, and I put on our swimsuits and slathered on the sunscreen for our day at Blizzard Beach. We left the room around 9:15, hopped on a bus, and got to the park just as they started letting people in at 9:50. We started by going on a chairlift up to Steamboat Springs and tubed our way down. Then we climbed 95 stairs to run off rapids. Okay, maybe it wasn't actually 95, but it felt like it because I was carrying a tube. After that, we went on downhill double dipper, which, in my expert opinion, is the surest way to give yourself an atomic water wedgie. Then we decided to chill in the lazy river, except there's no comfortable way to chill in an inner tube. It was about 11:40 when we took the chairlift back up to Steamboat Springs. Then around 12:10, we picked up some lunch at Lotta Wada Lodge. I like saying that word. Lotta Wada, Lotta Wada, Lotta Wada, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so maybe it's not that easy to say. So anyway, I had some chicken tendies and fries. And once we had munched up all our grub, which was about 1, we went over to the wave pool. Mom got a chair while Dad and I bobbed along the not-so-gentle waves. About half an hour later, we went up to run off rapids again, except a tube got stuck in one of the slides, and we had to wait for the lifeguards to get it out. After that little fiasco, we hopped on the lazy river and lazed to the front of the park. We hopped on a bus back to the hotel around 2:40. Then we hung about the room and left again at 4:10. We waited a whopping half hour for a bus to Disney Springs. Once we got there, which must have been around 5, we went straight for the World of Disney shop and browsed the walls and walls of Disney merchandise, but didn't buy anything. Dad was looking for a hat, but none of the hats there really excited him. Then we met up with Grandma Janet and worked our way over to House of Blues. Our reservation was at 6:15. I had a New York strip and some mashed taters on the side. After dinner, Grandma went back to the hotel, leaving the 3 of us to hit the shops. We went to the Uniqlo outfit and bought all the shirts we could possibly want. Let's see, where's the one I bought? I think it's in this drawer. Oh, it's like right there. I have the drawer between my legs. It's not all that comfortable. So this is the shirt I bought at Uniqlo. It's like this really pretty Japanese design. It has a flower. I'll just fold that up once I'm done. Okay. What page am I on? Okay, so bought all the shirts we could possibly want. Then we went to Amaret's Patisserie, where it had a Mickey Mousse, which was basically chocolate on chocolate on chocolate with Mickey ears. After all that fun, we were tired, so we caught a 9 o'clock bus to the hotel, and I went to bed at like 10:30. And now, shirt folding break! June 21st, Animal Kingdom. Confession time, I didn't write this down until a week after it happened, so the time I woke up would be the last thing I'd remember. We left the room at 9:30 to get to Animal Kingdom at 9. It had opened at 8, but the entrance was still fairly mob-like. We went to Avatar Land first before the lines got too long. We waited a speedy 30 minutes for the Navi River journey. Once we got off, we found that the line for Flight of Passage was at least 2 hours. Luckily, we had fast passes. Now, let me tell you a thing or two about Flight of Passage. It's like Soarin' and Star Tours had a baby, and then that baby was injected with steroids. 2, the thing up against my thighs kept moving in and out like it was breathing, and I didn't like it. Afterwards, we decided to go on Dinosaurs since the standby line was only 25 minutes, but in the 10 minutes it took us to get there, that time literally doubled. So we decided not to go on that. Primeval World was also closed for some reason, and if it is closed permanently, I will fight someone because that is my favorite ride. So we went over to It's Tough to Be a Bug. Then we went up to the Africa Land where I got a Malva cake sundae at one of the snack bars. The cake and the ice cream are fine separately, but there were some cake bits in the ice cream, and some of the cake was soaked in ice cream. We took a ride on Kilimanjaro Safari and then made our way over to Expedition Everest. Grandma Janet waited for us by a nearby bathroom while the 3 of us went on the ride of our lives. That left us with an hour and a half before lunch. So we did some shopping on Discovery Island for 45 minutes and checked in early to our 1:45 reservation at Rainforest Cafe. But we checked in early, so we didn't have lunch at 1:45. I ate a burger and fries and also these really delicious fried cheese sticks as an appetizer. We left the restaurant around 3 and did some last-minute browsing at the shop right by the entrance to the park before leaving for good. When we got back to the hotel, Dad and I decided to go to the pool. We got there at 4:30 and swam around until 5:30. We spent the evening lounging about the room and feasting on the leftovers that we had accumulated over the course of the week. I went to bed at some unknown time after 10, because that would be the second to last thing I remember after a week. And now, June 22nd, going back home. This is the only day that I did not write down, so I'm just gonna be reciting everything that happened from memory. So, that morning I woke up, we ate breakfast and packed up all our stuff. We checked in our bags and hung around the room until 11:30, because we had to be out in front of the hotel for our magical express bus, which was scheduled to come at noon. Now, it did not come right at noon, but it came. So we boarded the bus, rode it to the airport, and once we got there, we said our goodbyes. Grandma Janet was like, "Oh my, I'll miss you most of all, Scarecrow." And then we went and stood for, it must have been like 20 minutes, in the infamously long Orlando International Airport security line. We got all our stuff through security, and then we hopped on that like monorail train over out to our terminal. Once we got there, we had our lunch at the food court. I got Wendy's, classic nuggets and fries. because Wendy's. And then we went over to our gate. Our boarding time was like I think at 2:45, 2:50, so we stood in our boarding room, and we just stood there. We started general boarding about 15 minutes late, so we had to wait around, but we did get on the plane, so we put our stuff up and got in our seats there. The TV's playing. I turned on Cash Cab until the flight took off, and then we were in the air wee, and then so we were there on the plane, and I played some Tomodachi Life like I do every day, and I also wrote some of the journal entry for Blizzard Beach, and I also just looked at the window because clouds are pretty. We passed over our house, and then we landed in the airport 5:15 Central Time. Worked over to the baggage claim and waited 45 minutes for our luggage. It was really annoying, and my feet were tired from all that standing. I just spent a week of my life walking and standing in places, and I did not need this. I just wanted to sit down and chillax. So we did eventually get our luggage. We didn't have to go to guest services or anything. We thought, yay, we have our luggage, let's go home. So we went out to the parking garage. Mom made sure to take a picture of the column that we parked next to. Get to the column, and it is not there. And we're all like, this isn't the right place, right? Column 504, Brown Garage. Yeah, that's the right place. What's going on? I think we should call parking security. So we went over to the elevators, get the number for parking security, and called them up. And they were like, yeah, we'll send a person over. It took 10 minutes to get a person over, and he's like, hey, I'll help you find your car. So we hopped on the tram. Okay, and we were on level 5, and so he whisked us down to level 4, column 504, and there was the car. Apparently, just because the column number starts with 5, that does not necessarily mean it is on level 5. The one thing Mom left out of her picture was the floor number, and that's what messed us up. And it was thank God our car didn't get towed away or stolen or anything, and it was yay. So we put all our stuff in the car, and we drove home, had frozen pizza for dinner because it was late. That was the end of our trip. The end. So thank you guys all for watching me ramble about my adventures in Disney World. Be sure to like and subscribe, and next video is going to be another Metopia episode coming out tomorrow. Yay!